doing good, you know. It's just one of those things that you got to a point that there ain't no options with it. You know, you try maybe to prolong it and try to get to the finish line, but you know, I've learned that you prolong it so long, it comes a certain point, there's no prolonging it, and that's where I got to. So, you know, I had that surgery whenever it was. That was last Friday, whatever that's been now. So I'm on recovery stage here now, making progress every day. So
originally you slipped on some ice? Is that what happened?
You know, guys, it was a freak accident. It was after the Marshall game, Tuesday morning. So you can back that up to 4 weeks from now. If y'all remember, we had some ice. It was kind of melting. It was a warm day on that. It started to warm up on that Tuesday morning. I come out my back door, heading to the office, carrying my bag and on the cell phone. I didn't fall. I just kind of slipped, kind of whiplashed my back. I was okay at the time, didn't bother me. But that evening I had radio show, and by 7 o'clock that night radio show, I was struggling to walk. I mean, it was really, really hurting me. But then we got to turn around on Wednesday and get on a plane and go to Hattiesburg. And, you know, really didn't have no medication in me at that point. So we play down there, then we have to bus from Hattiesburg to Louisiana Tech. I just remember laying on the floorboard of that bus that night, trying to get there. And, you know, basically got back and, you know, had all the treatments I could have basically to try to prolong surgery. And, you know, basically nothing else worked. All the epidurals I had didn't work. And but after having the surgery, you know, like the doctor said, the epidurals wasn't going to help. I couldn't avoid surgery. So that's been a month ago yesterday. Today's Wednesday? Today's Thursday. So hey, a month ago Tuesday when it happened.
How proud are you of your team for being so resilient and, you know,
listen,
skipping a beat?
I'm proud of the coaches. Coaches did a tremendous job. You know, it's not an easy situation to get thrown into, and they literally got thrown into it. I mean, it happened at, I don't know where you guys, were you with us at Rice? You know, Wednesday night at Rice, basically when I couldn't stand, had to kind of sit down to get through it. But I had still plans at that time to go Thursday night. So it wasn't a Thursday evening when those coaches figured out I can't go. So they got thrown into a tough situation. And I'm going to say Coach Hugh and the rest of them assistants, they did a great job. I couldn't be more proud of them. And with that, the players got to respond. You know, like I said, if I'd been on that bench against Rice, we got down 15, we wouldn't have won. Those guys found a way to dig deeper and found a way to win that game. So I'm awful proud of the coaches and the players, where they responded to this situation, because it's not easy for coaches or players to be put in that situation.
First time you've had some point.
I've never missed a game in 17 years. I've had the back problem before, but epidurals have taken care of it. You know, I had it about 10 years ago. I had 3 epidurals, and the third one took care of it, and I was able to keep going. But yes, first time I ever missed a game in my career. So, but again, it was a really easy decision when it got to that point. There was no option. I had no option. It was do something, get some relief, and it was only surgery could do that.
Are you good to go for Saturday?
I'm good to go. Yes, sir. I'm good to go.
Rick, how glad are you to be back right before the start of this important?
I'm just glad to be back. Again, you know, as a head coach, I never had to do it. You know, I couldn't sit there and watch the games now. I couldn't do that. You know, I just couldn't do it. It wasn't. I'd have to watch scores or watch it afterwards. So that was something I never had to experience. That's not easy. So I'm glad to be back. You know, and I know we got a tough 4-game run here left in this season. You know, trying to figure out why 2 is going to 1 first. I haven't figured that out yet. Start first game. You guys figured that out?
No.
Have you figured out why we're the only team top 5 going somewhere twice on the road first?
Nope.
Anybody figured that out? So there's a lot of things we're trying to figure out, but I'm glad to be back trying to figure it out. If I ask you questions, I'll be very kind about that answer.
Rick, about ODU, Tavion and Charles just asked Tavion what he respects about ODU, you know, having faced him 4 times the last year, and he talked about how smart they play. And I'll ask you, what do you respect about this ODU team?
Well, first off, we got 2 great players, Caver and Stiff. And those guys are steady every night. Not a lot of ups and downs for them. They're averaging, 18, 17 between them right now. Those two guys that they did beat us along those other guys last time. But, Stiff's a terrific player. Scores all different ways. Plays off the bounce, post up and score it, shoots the three, plays off the dribble, and always wants the big shot. Always the guy wanting that big shot. And you got a point guard like Caver. He's got that ball on a string, and he sets everybody else up, and we all know what a capable scorer he is too. So it starts with those two guys right there. Then they got good pieces around them. I think the one thing that separates them from anybody else in the league right now, they got 4 guys off the bench. It's all adding to Kincaid, Wade, Dickens, and Ezel. Easy, the kid that really hurt us up there the last time, had those 8, had 7 offensive rebounds. They have 4 guys off the bench that are all adding to. I don't know if there's anybody else in the league has some things off the bench that Old Dominion has right now.
Rick, I know that one of your big beliefs is the most important game is the next game, but at the same time, we reach that stage of the season where every game is essentially a one-game season.
Well, they're all important. Mike, take them one at a time. We know it's not going to be easy up there. You take them one at a time. Your next one, where are we at? UAB. So we know that won't be easy. Then you got 2 more at home. So you take them one at a time, and at the end of those, that'd be 18 games. Whoever's won the most, the team that wins the league. Then you got to get ready to, go basically win your tournament. That's where it is in this league. It's a one bid league until somehow that changes, and you got to go win that tournament for that to happen. So again, we'll approach it the same we've always approached it. You do wish it was set up a little bit different. You do wish, somehow that your 2-1s would play the last game, which only kind of makes sense. Should be your marquee game, a psychological thing. It's just not a play Old Dominion. It's a psychological thing as you play those games. Knowing you could have those 2 teams on the last Saturday. But it didn't work out that way somehow. Again, I don't have the answer to that. And the answers I got, probably can't tell you those answers. So.
Other than the scheduling standpoint, what are your overall thoughts, on the bonus play? Do you think it helps teams or hurts teams going into the CUSA conference?
I've been saying all year long, wait and we'll do it, and I'll answer it. Looking at it right now, you're looking at the different kind of time frames people have to play in. Like we play on that Wednesday, and we won't play another a week before we go to that conference tournament. There's some teams right now, I think San Antonio don't play their next game to 12 days. Is that correct?
No, Marshall does. Marshall has 12 days.
San Antonio, I think, has 12. I think. But my point is, those kind of scenarios, I don't think is good this time of year. You want to stay on a routine. And again, looking back, does these last 4 games help anybody improve their RPI enough to get the second team in? Absolutely not. Not even close. So, from that standpoint, right now, it's probably not a lot of advantages. Knowing we got to go to Old Dominion twice too. So the bonus play don't help us going there twice. So I can answer it better now than I could 2 months ago. I don't see a lot of advantages in it right now.
I was going to ask, you have to play your 2 home games on spring break. I think you guys are the only team that started the conference season with 3 road games. Maybe the only team to start bonus play with 2 road games, just to seem like can't catch a break with any of the scheduling.
I'm trying to be nice talking about all this, but what you just said is just the truth. Again, I basically have never heard where 2 goes to 1 first in any kind of pool play. I've just never heard of that. That's number 1. Number 2, why are we the only team in the top 5 going on the road twice? Is that advantage? There's a lot of psychological stuff to this stuff now. It ain't about just when you play, it's a psychological part, plays a part into it. And then again, as you said, Brad, we're going to play 2 games with our kids on spring break. Again, we didn't get our students back until January the 21st as it was. Now we're going to play 2 more without them being here, and one of those is going to be a Sunday. So to answer your question about that pool play again, pool play hadn't been there. we wouldn't have played on Sunday. We were played, kept doing what like we're doing right now, I guess, going Thursday, Saturday, and we would have avoided spring break even. So no advantages, and especially the way it's set out for us. Not at all, Brad. But you know, like I said, learned a long time ago, you can't worry about things you can't control. It's where it is. We gotta go play those games, you know, and let the chips fall where they fall.
Team's been out rebounded 2 straight games, 3 of the last 4. What do you got? Speaking of things you can't control.
That's a bad stat.
What can you do with that?
Two bad stats you can't have. You know, sometimes you're not going to shoot the ball very well. You know, you just can't help that. Sometimes nobody misses shots on purpose, but you cannot not shoot it well and get beat in the rebounding wars, and get beat on the free throw wars. And I know that was 2 stats last 2 games. We didn't shoot a lot of free throws, and we got beat rebounding at basketball. Those are 2 areas that, for the most part, we've been pretty good at. Haven't walked off that court out here very much, getting beat rebounding or getting beat in that free throw difference. For the most part, we were basically making more of those opponents for shooting pretty consistently. But the last 2 games, we haven't done that. We got to get that back.
Rick, we haven't, for obvious reasons, had a chance to ask you about Monte and his play. And it just seems like he's really locked in and being the type of player that, you know, we know the background with him, and he's a likable kid. But your perspective, is he playing the best basketball of not just his time here, but his whole college career?
Well, he's the most locked in he's ever been, on and off the court. When that happens, there's a correlation with that, and it's carrying over between the lines. He's been terrific for us. What's his last 5 games? What is it?
44 assists and 7 turnovers.
44 assists, 7 turnovers. That's a pretty good stat. Like had those stats to start conference play. But again, he's adding to, and he's just not adding to from that standpoint. He's adding to some leadership stuff. He's a guy been vocal. He's practiced good. You know, he's again, that was something that, you know, I didn't know if you'd ever see from Monte, a guy that could show leadership from a standpoint of doing the right things. He's doing that. And again, it's had a correlation with the way he's played. He's been a big key to, you know, us winning some games still.
Could Monte be kind of that X factor?
There's no question. You know, first game at Old Dominion, he played 8 minutes. He had zeros, put him across the board. So he will help us. He'll help us be better. That's for sure. If you're asking me too, does he make us better coming down this home stretch? No question. Because the one thing we were struggling with was those turnovers. And we all know those turnovers cost us in 3 or 4 games. Start of the second halves, you know. And we've avoided those here lately, and that's a big stat.
Seems like the team's grown up quite a bit since the first game, being able to finish off games like North Texas, Middle Tennessee State. Does that have you confident ahead of this rematch with Old Dominion?
Well, you know, we're better in those areas for sure. We got to continue, like you said, you can't get beat on those backboards like you get beat on those backboards. We know Old Dominion. I mean, we all know what we're going into over there Saturday. I mean, let's face it. I mean, looked at these stats, they'll be sold out because this is their game. This is their game. It separates everything. Been nice to have it the last game, but they're going to have it this game. So we know what we're going into over there. I mean, that's going to be a best environment in this league besides Diddle. It's where it is. Even the first time we played up there, you there? It was a terrific crowd. Close to sellout first time. So, but you can bet it's a sellout this time. So we're going into a tough environment. We got to play against a really good basketball team. We got to handle both of those things. What we got to worry about is what's between those lines. We're not going to get out to 21-0 lead this time. That's not happening. We're not going to have that cushion. I mean, we got to be able to, you know, keep this game close. That we got chances down the stretch. So we got to figure out a way to do.
Rick, you know me. I'm not asking this as a smart aleck, but what was it like watching your team on TV?
Couldn't watch the game now. I told you I couldn't watch the game. No, I couldn't do that. Watch the scores. I couldn't watch every play. I couldn't do it. My first night, where was we at? So when I couldn't leave, that's right, I come back Friday from Houston, didn't I? I stayed in a hotel Thursday night. I had Mike Gaddy with me. He was basically my nurse. He was my roommate. So he had his computer in there going in the other room, so I didn't want to watch it. Just luckily enough for me, the phone was ahead of his computer because he was in there hollering at the computer. You know, I was just ahead of him. So it wasn't something that, you know, it bothered me as much. I mean, I'd never done it. Didn't want to do it. Could watch it afterwards then, especially knowing the outcomes of them.
Can I ask you one more thing?
I got a feeling you got more than one more, but go ahead. I'm good with two more.
The guys, the staff filling in, and you mentioned Coach Shu, but
Yep.
I wanted to ask you specifically about a guy that stepped up while you were gone. You go a long way back with Thomas Franklin, and just the way he dealt with us, he acted like he'd done it 20 years.
Well, that's why we have them on this staff. We know they're good people, and you don't always get to see how good they are because the roles are in. But you know, Talis is a terrific person. And you guys saw that, I guess, the way he handled things in here. Coach Martin did an unbelievable job. Like I say, this staff came together. It was a team effort among that staff now, and I like that. Brought them closer together. It put them in a situation that makes them all better, gives them all more confidence. Roles they hadn't had to do. So again, like I said, I was very awful proud of the way they handled everything.